Welcome to the FPC Durant podcast. I'm Garrett.
I'm Corey.
I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be talking with Will Sandmann. We're moving into our ministry check-in series, so we're going to have a few ministry check-ins coming up. First up, Will, and we're going to be talking a little bit about College Life Group. Will is the college ministry assistant.
Yes.
So thank you for being with us today, Will.
All right, cool. So to start off, we're going to start with first takes like we do. And so we got some quick hitters for Will. Don't sweat it. You know the answers. So the first thing that comes to mind. First one. What is your most memorable college experience?
Most memorable college experience. That's tough. I think the one that comes to mind initially is playing Death Valley in the amphitheater at Man's Ministry.
Foreign material to me.
Yeah, it's just a very brutal game. And watching one of my friends named Andy trip in the amphitheater and jam his finger to the left and begging Trey to pull it and pop it back into place, and almost watching Trey Hedrick throw up. I think that may be one of the most memorable moments in BCM.
Then I grew up in.
Trust me, I haven't played that game in a long time.
I don't know.
Is there rules to the game?
Yeah,
you just
for
wail
sure.
on each other.
Death Valley is like, so at the beginning of the game, there's two teams split evenly, and at the top of the amphitheater, you have one group, and then zigzagging down the amphitheater, there's tables set up, one vertical, one horizontal, and the idea is to get down to the bottom and touch the stage. The other team has tennis balls, dodgeballs, footballs, and they're just trying. If you get hit, you got to start at the beginning, and you're trying to get as many points as possible. So you're throwing tennis balls as hard as you can, and once you get hit, you got to go back. Now, when you get to a certain level, you're no longer allowed to throw a tennis ball, because if you get smoked in the face, it hurts a lot closer than you are further away. We've forgotten that rule a couple times and taken one to the dome. But when you get down, and we usually play like the Imperial March off Star Wars as you're doing it, so it's just it's just a wild time.
Okay,
This
Corey?
is just American Gladiators.
Yes.
This is just
It's
the gauntlet.
similar.
They're shooting the Nerf guns. They're shooting tennis balls at people.
And I don't know if it came from that, because it was already a thing when I showed up as a freshman, but it's the same thing. You just don't have the air powered guns to shoot
I'm pretty sure some millennial just said, "Let's do real life American Gladiators."
Trey was doing some work in the office.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. After the finger incident, it slowly became like, is this a liability? And we kind of stopped playing it. So
since we're confessing things, I have actually played this game.
Oh, okay.
At YMCA summer camp as a counselor with children.
There you go.
I was young.
nice.
Not my best of choices, but it was a blast.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Cool. That went way further than I thought. I love that.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Question 2. Best Atoka High School football player of all time.
Of all time.
I'm not gonna have an opinion on this at all.
I don't know if I have an opinion. I don't know of a lot of great Toka football players that I know of. I had a friend, we called him DJ. He played D1.
There you go.
But not like at OU. It was like a smaller D1 up in like New York. DJ McConnell.
We'll give it to him.
But and then we had a couple other guys who played JUCO and stuff, but nobody went big time. So
Sweet. Shout out DJ.
yeah.
Hope he listens.
Yeah, hopefully.
We know you're listening, DJ.
Yeah,
Shout out.
He was kind of obsessed with me, I know he'll be on this podcast.
That's awesome.
That's not true.
This one's dedicated to DJ. Very cool. What is your wildest missions experience?
Ooh.
Hopefully not Death Valley.
No, it's not, but this one's really good. This could be a long story, but I'll keep it brief. I went, when I was in Kyrgyzstan, I went to a bathhouse with a couple guys, because it was like, not everyone had showers in the house, so they would like clean up throughout the week, but then they would like go to the bathhouse, and it was like a social thing for guys. There was like a restaurant, snack, drink place inside the bathhouse. So you would like go in the hot sauna, you would come out and go like buy a Coke or some chips and chat for a little bit, then you go back in the sauna. And somehow, because there's no windows in the place, we end up being there for like 4 hours. And these guys are like really athletic guys. And at one point, after we'd been in the sauna for a long time, he was like, let me give you a massage. It'll help your muscles. And I'm like, this is not what I want. But I'm like, this is for the gospel, I guess. Hopefully we can get to the gospel of this. And through him like rubbing my shoulders, he grabs my neck and goes, let me pop your neck. And before I can even say no, he cracks it one way. And then I'm like, this is it. I'm going to die. He's going to come back the other way and just snap my neck off like all those action movies. And he cracks it the other way. And I just remember thinking, I don't know how I got here. I'm getting out of here. Like, we've been here for a long, long time. And I'm like, how did I end up going to just to hang out with this guy, to him cracking my neck in the hottest room of my entire life? So I thought I was going to lose my life when he went back the other way with my neck. But, we made it. We survived.
Man.
It was a wild time.
Wild time.
We're starting off hot. I like this.
Yeah. Probably my wildest story happened at a bathhouse in Istanbul, Turkey.
100%. Bathhouses are crazy places.
Yeah, ended up there on a
I know. I went to a
mission
massage
trip.
parlor when I was in China, and it was also a weird, very strange experience. that I
Eastern
had.
culture is
We
weird. It's a wild time.
We
It's a beautiful
followed
place, but
Stuart
it's
Tilley
wild.
to a place he said he'd been to,
That'll
and
do it.
clearly when we got there, it's like this is cringe. This is dangerous looking. Let's not go in there. But we did, and
Of course.
we came out alive.
Oh yeah, our
Missions.
bathhouse looked more like a crematory than like an actual bathhouse because it had a big chimney and smoke was blowing out the top, and you're
Yeah.
like, "This is
Huh.
don't know what's happening."
For the gospel.
I'll say this:
gospel.
mine was traumatizing. But when I left, about like 100 feet from the place, I was like, I feel great.
Yeah.
I feel loose. I feel
That's
I
how
feel
I
fine.
felt. The guy told me you'd have the best sleep of your life. That was a lie. I couldn't sleep that night. Like, don't worry, I left and I
You're a little
felt
traumatized.
good and I was energized. Maybe I was too energized. I don't know. And I could not sleep that night at all.
But adrenaline was going at that point.
100%.
That's awesome. All right, last one here. So, in rehearsal the other day, I may or may not have heard about your singing prowess.
Oh man, it's so good. My singing is so good.
What would if you were forced to sing at karaoke, what would you pick?
He's got a
Man.
microphone right now.
No,
That's true.
Wants to go
let's,
for
let's
it.
be careful
That's
here,
true.
okay? I've told people for a long time that if you put a gun in my head and like sing a lyric, I'd be like, just shoot me. Like,
What was it?
like, have you ever heard the premise? Like, if
wouldn't
someone
know.
had a gun to your head, you had to choose one lyric to sing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
sing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I was like, you might as well just pull the trigger because I'm not going to remember anything in the moment, and one, it's not going to be good enough to get me out of that situation. I don't know, any country song from the 2000s probably,
Okay.
just because when the music starts playing, it comes to mind. So I don't know.
It's our native tongue here
Yeah,
in Oklahoma.
exactly. So
90s, 2000s country.
I'm trying to think of like the number one song, but it's not coming to my brain. I'd probably just sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" because I could get those lyrics down. You know,
Okay.
just keep it safe. You know.
I like it.
But no, my singing prowess is bad. I was the kid in youth group that always said, "Man, we just love how you worship the Lord," and we all knew it was because my voice was bad, but I didn't care. So
There you go.
that's
We
where I
love your
landed.
heart.
We love your heart. We love
love
how
it.
you worship the Lord, because if you
Without
can sing
care,
good,
with
they're
no
like, "Hey,
cares."
you should
That's
come.
right.
You should come up on stage with us." It wasn't the "We love you, love how you worship the Lord."
Right there.
Yeah, over there in the back, preferably actually.
That's great.
So yeah, my singing prowess is not there.
Very cool. So we have learned a lot already about Will in a few short questions. But if you would, go ahead and share a little bit about your life, your faith, and what has brought you to the ministry role you service in.
For sure. I grew up not too far from here, Lane, Oklahoma, little small town. A couple gas stations. A Dollar General showed up when I was in high school, and most notably known for Lane Frost grew up there. But grew up in a family of just hardworking people. We're pecan farmers by trade, and didn't go to church a whole lot growing up. We went occasionally during like Christmas and Easter and those kinds of things, but never doubted if God existed, just didn't understand what that reality would be like. And so one VBS when I was around 8, the typical going to vacation Bible school, I was bussed over from summer school, and I had an experience with the Lord that I thought I had. It was very fire and brimstone preaching kind of happening, and my brother went down before me and I went down, but it wasn't real. It was just an emotional experience for me personally. I know a lot of people come to faith that way, but that wasn't the case for me. And got to live in life after that, went to school at Atoka because Lane only goes to K-8, not K-12.
Okay.
So I was an Eagle. Then I turned into a Wampus Cat, which is arguably the coolest mascot of any school. Stand by that. But went to school there. And so, and growing up in my faith, as a kid, I didn't really have a whole lot of sin problems in the sense of like I didn't have room for my sin to grow. Like you plant something in a small pot, you'll have little weeds. You plant something in a big garden, you'll have bigger weeds. And so when I got in high school, gave me a place for my like sin to grow. And it wasn't until I got plugged in with a youth group, just where my friends were going, that the seeds of the gospel really started getting sown into my life. And I could articulate that to you, and I thought I had a relationship with the Lord, but it just didn't really mean a whole lot to me until, I don't know, around my sophomore year of high school. I got broken up with by this girl that really wasn't that deep, but it felt really deep in the moment.
You're going through it.
Yeah, I was going through it, and it made me feel a little fragile at the time.
Yeah.
And I stayed back after youth one night, and my youth pastor started asking me all these real intentional questions, and not questions I would ever answer or stay around for. And the gospel was just displayed in a way that I'd never seen before, like truly how holy and good God is, and how because of my sin, like I'm justly deserving of whatever He would give me, wrath, punishment. And but at the same time, stretching between that was like the great love of God in Christ and the mercy displayed, and even still His justice displayed in Him by swallowing up sin and swallowing up His wrath. 2 Corinthians 5:21 says, "He who knew no sin became sin, so that we might become the righteousness of God." And it came clear to me that I might become the righteousness of God. And so my life changed there, and I started following Jesus. But that church didn't have a great culture of discipleship, and so not very much longer, I started to backslide into some things that I struggled with before. But when I got into college, I started finding some guys who like actually followed Jesus in a way that was unique to my own age bracket. I seen some older guys follow Jesus, and I was like, you just follow Jesus when you're older, I guess. I don't know how to follow him now. But then I found some guys my own age that were like, I mean, for Bible studies and like seeking to understand the Word and wanting to pray and invest and evangelize and all these things. And God changed my life vastly in my time in college. It was a space in my life where I was finally getting to be my own man, I guess. And a lot of my ideas and ideologies were forming in myself, and the Lord used that time to really shape who I was going to be. And that's part of the reason why I'm still in college ministry, because throughout that time I realized how big of an impact that space in my life was to orient me towards the gospel and towards my calling. And that really shaped itself up when I came to the realization that like whatever I wanted to build for myself was going to fade in a generation. Like my kids might remember my name, my grandkids might, my great grandkids might if I live that long, you know, but that's probably not the case. The only name worth living for is Christ, and oriented where I was at. And so I've tried to leave ministry several times. I never really wanted to be here, but it seems like every door that opened was here. And so I stepped into help with the BCM, and then in the same vein of college ministry, stepped on to help take some load off Dustin in the work here and invest in the college.
You didn't want to be where? Will you clarify that? You didn't want to be in college,
I don't mean in college ministry
Southeastern,
or in ministry in general. Like
ministry,
I didn't want to be in ministry. I did want to move out of Durant. Durant was a big step at first from Atoka, you know, and that was a big city. But then I was going to move like to Dallas and get a job that paid well and make a name for myself, but it reoriented myself to like the gospel is worth it. And so it ended me up here investing in college students as they're kind of forming who they're going to be, at least starting that formation of their own. And so yeah,
I love that connection from your experience to being so passionate about what you experienced to wanting to just help in that, serve in that, be a part of that for so many others. Very cool.
I also need to mention before we move on, I got married this summer. That's part of my life too, and I forget to introduce that I got married in any setting because it's new. But I got married. Her name's Alyssa Sandmann. She's great. but I always forget to introduce that that's a new area of my life. I do that sometimes when I go supply preach at places. I forget to announce her. She's cool about it though, so she gets it. But it's new.
Still feels weird to call her wife and stuff.
100%. Yeah, 100%. All the things. But we got married in June, so that's cool. That's a cool aspect of my life as well that I'm learning to be a part of.
Absolutely a blessing for sure. So with that in mind, what would you say the significance or importance of church is for the students you work with, students in their late teens or early 20s? Why is the church specifically important? I think, when you're in college, the BCM is so readily available, but the church also plays a significant role.
For sure, yeah. I think college students easily connect with like an on-campus ministry because they do lots of things that are oriented towards college students and things, but like the church is such a need to our students. And I tell students this all the time. It's like you have to choose. If your time only allots for one, like choose the church, because the church doesn't end. Like college ministry has to end at some point. It will end for everyone. Even if you like work in college ministry, at some point it will end for you, whether it be 40 years or 4 years. But what I tell students, like the importance of the church, outside of the like practicality of like one day it will end and you need to find somewhere to be planted, is that the church is bigger than what we think of typically. Like when we think about the church, think about that building on the corner over there, and we go for Sunday school and we go for worship service and the free meal, and we do to connect with people, which are all true things, and like we learn the scriptures. But there's a passage in Ephesians 3 talks about Paul thanking the God of the families of God in heaven and on earth, and like this multi-generational church that doesn't just span the people in the present, but the people who have come before us and the people who will come after us. And so like being planted in the local church not only connects us to the people around us, but it connects us to the church globally as well as eternally. And it's so important for us to be rooted in that, because that same text goes on a little bit further, talking about how we will be understanding the love of Christ that is unknowable, right? Beyond knowledge. And that blew my mind a little bit when the first time I read it, is that like the reality that we as humans are limited. Like even in eternity, we'll be learning about the love of Christ for all of eternity. And being played in the local church is part of that even now, but with all the church, not only just the people in our building, but for the generations to come and the generations past. And it is an entry point in us to greatly knowing our Creator and our Redeemer. But it starts as simply as like showing up to a Wednesday night meal or a Sunday service and worship, or connecting with someone in a life group that we have is eternally valuable, because it connects us to all the generations of the church and to our Redeemer who is eternal. Yeah.
Very good. All three of us can definitely chime in. We had an experience with BCM specifically, but also within the church. You guys can share also, but I felt like part of my transition from BCM to a more in-depth relationship with the church, specifically First Baptist, when I was in college. It's like when I went to church, I also went to work in the church. Like that's where I got the opportunity to learn how to serve the church and be a part of a church at my age. There was no need to wait until I was older or until I had a family. In college, there was the flexibility and availability to serve the church and learn a lot about the church in the process. Don't know if y'all have anything on that. Your experience in the church when you were younger.
I think that the transition from being in college to just being an adult is difficult. It can be more difficult for certain people, I'm sure. I mean, me and Cole got married like right after we graduated. And I also moved churches during that time, but I already had I'd already been like in a local church, just a different church. When I was in college, I think that it helps like the transition from like pseudo adulthood, which is like what I feel like college is. It's like you're an adult, but like you're not fully.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or at least I wasn't. Some people have different circumstances, obviously. And then, like when I became an adult, it's just like, if you're only a part, I feel like if you're only a part of college ministry, you graduate and then it's like we've talked about this before. It's like, what do I do now? It's like you don't want your community to just fall off the face of the earth when that happens, because it's not even just that you're not allowed to go back or anything. It's like a lot of people I graduated with, we moved everywhere. All my friends scattered. Like my best friend lives 4 hours from here. Cole's best friend lives in the UK. Like we literally just went everywhere. And so to not have the multi-generational, more stable version, I feel like can be really detrimental to someone's faith, because not being in community, I think, is so difficult. It's so hard to follow the Lord the way we need to, and the way that He wants us to, whenever we're not with other people. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think you or I would have faced quite a bit of isolation. Yeah. So I was just newly married, and it's easy to isolate yourself anyways, like when you first get married. And if I wouldn't have been like in the local church, I just think that I would have maybe just kind of folded into myself a little bit.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, there's definitely a send-off from collegiate groups and ministries or whatever's going on.
Yeah, I mean, also within local church, like I found, like you were talking about, like serving. Like, again, we talked about how my singing abilities are so great. But, like, I got opportunities to teach for the first time in the local church. Like, I had, especially during COVID when no one wanted to do any video stuff, they're like, we'll get out there. So there's a lot of probably good takes of me not knowing what I was doing on the Facebook Lives. But I got a lot of opportunities to teach and to grow and to hone a little bit of what I hope to do. And so that's a big part of the local church too, because, I mean, we are His bodies, members of His body. Paul tells us about, like, we all need each other, and we cannot serve the Lord and impact for His kingdom in a healthy way without being connected to each other.
And the church is, like, I feel, super welcoming and excited about college-age students.
For sure.
Corey, did you ever do road crew stuff?
Yeah,
Road crew.
I did some road crew.
I always thought that
I
was...
didn't do a lot of it, but that's where I met Dustin.
Yeah.
Is doing bass for him for road crew.
I thought that was so fun, getting to be in different churches, and I had an experience. I got to visit Utica Baptist Church recently, and just to see people at their spots, and wherever we went, they were always so excited to see us and welcome us in, and just getting to, like y'all said, meet different people of different generations, and I don't know, something about that experience. They definitely don't see college students as outsiders or others. They're definitely welcoming college students as part of the church, like they are the church. I always thought that was cool. And here, I mean, obviously we love college students, college ministry.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I said earlier, I feel like I just left the BCM, which is really a false statement. It's been a while. But it was an impactful part of my life that bled into so much as I became an adult, I guess. It's a different generation, I think we would agree, in the college age right now. What do you feel like our church, we're getting our church specific, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you think our church needs to know about this generation, like Gen Z?
For sure. And I guess I fit in the Gen Z category. I always felt like I was a millennial because I have an older brother who is definitely a millennial.
Yeah.
He's 9 years older than me, and so I grew up in that era. But I think this generation, because like growing up, I remember my folks not, like my dad not having a cell phone at one point, and then going to a flip phone, and then like getting an iPhone and social media. And so like to some degree, I'm still in that bridge of like remembering some of that before, and some of like the college students I engage with now like have always lived as iPad kids, like like that's always been the case for them, and because of that, I think Gen Z, this generation, because we have so much connection that isn't real like false connection, if you will. Like we're hearing so many things from different people in different places. Some of it true, some of it not. Like our church, and I think churches in general, need to realize like our generation is so hungry for like real connection, like with people. Even though we may not sometimes, because of that disconnect, have a hard time bridging that gap to get it. And I like know for myself, at least within the realm of ministry, there were so many people like giving me advice throughout the internet and social media and stuff. Like I would do anything to be able to sit down with somebody who was in ministry that was older than me, like just to hear what they do and how they do it. And anybody who was older than me, like I would love to just get their ear for a little while or hear what they have to say. And one thing I think sometimes is a barrier is we're all figuring it out no matter what generation we're in, and we'll talk ourselves out like I don't have that much to offer. Our generation and the generation below me, we know that not everyone's perfect, and we're not trying to have perfection. We just need some real connection to plant us within the church and to have some wisdom in a world where everyone else is trying to give us wisdom.
You are they're an information generation, I feel like.
For sure.
Like exposed and can have access to any information, whatever they need to know. I don't know that we had that same kind of access.
Not at all.
You know, like thinking about being college age and knowing what's going on all over the world all the time.
Listen, this is such a niche reference. Did anyone ever text Cha-Cha? Y'all remember that? Did anyone ever text Cha-Cha?
What is Cha-Cha?
It was like, okay,
I don't know what she's talking
listen,
Cha-Cha?
I know it sounds crazy. It sounds
Like
crazy.
some
Listen,
Choctaw,
do you know
like
what I'm
some
talking about?
Choctaw.
Okay, Cole's off screen, and he, note for the audio, he does know what I'm talking about.
Sarah's
it's
making
like,
this up. He's actually
it
not
was
over
like,
there.
okay, listen, it was like Google. It was like pre-Google. You could text this number, and it was like, it was Cha-Cha, okay?
Cha-Cha.
Whatever those numbers are, I don't remember because I don't use the same dial pad anymore. But we would send it. You would send a question and it would text you back the answer.
Wow.
So it was like pre-Google. It's just so
No,
bizarre. Like I remember
this is crazy.
this was such a thing.
How fast was it?
It was like it was pretty immediate. Like not as fast as like it is now, like
Was it-
AI.
was it
but I
like
mean for
people on
that,
the other end sending you
yes, I'm
answers? No
pretty
way.
sure. And you know what's so crazy
People
is
with
like I
encyclopedias
remember
out.
thinking
Just like
I
spread
remember
out, just
thinking this
text
was
you
just
back.
like the coolest thing. It was like before the smartphones. Like we could have went to a computer and like dialed it up and probably looked it up, but like we'd be out and about with friends, so we didn't have Google on our phones.
You don't want to get it
We
from your
weren't at
couch,
home on the
so-
dial up, so like we would just text it on the flip
That's
phone.
wild. So this
Text Cha-Cha.
But seriously, what was on the other end of it?
I don't know. We need to.
people with encyclopedias. You already
That's what I'm
explained.
saying.
We need to do
How-
a deep.
How old are large language models?
How did you find information out when
Like
you're out of
seriously,
minutes?
like it seems like there
Dude.
should be something that
Out of
new-
minutes is crazy.
After
The
9
text
PM, that's
message,
when you-
the limited text,
Oh.
like you get like 600 texts a month or whatever. Anyways, different time.
That would be Ask Jeeves, I feel like, for us.
I mean, it's just
Yes,
like a
yes, I
search
remember
engine.
Ask Jeeves
Okay.
too, but it was like
That's
Like
just
a
a
phone
search
search
engine.
engine.
That just sends out
I have no
spiders
idea
to
if
like
any of these is
recognize the
crazy.
word you just typed in and bring stuff to you. I
But
don't know what she's
it's
like
a
getting
text
answers.
message. I don't know what it is. I just know you send the text
It's
and
like
it's sending you an answer back.
ChatGPT,
But text
Yeah,
version.
texting.
Text version.
Yes,
How-
literally.
But how?
How
Large
detailed-
language
This
models could have
this
existed.
was probably in like
How-
2007.
How detailed were these responses?
I mean,
I feel like there's just a
good
warehouse
paragraph.
of dudes just like looking
They were
it up
just
right quick.
riffing. They were just
asking Jeeves,
riffing.
and then like,
Asking
did
Jeeves.
they ever say I don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, it's, all right,
I don't
this
know.
is yeah.
So I'm saying it was just like a very much
appreciate that.
less informed version of what we
Yeah.
have today. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, rabbit trail, but
No,
I was
not
just
really,
thinking
though, because it's like...
of the difference in the communication access that we had.
It kind of displays the difference in generations there. For
Like
sure.
we just get on, we can literally figure. I can Google anything. Like I can look
Yeah.
up anything
Yeah.
on here. It's crazy.
And so this age has, this generation has access to every answer. So they don't need answers from older generations. They need connection. Or within their culture and context, information that they couldn't get somewhere else.
For sure. And a lot of it's wisdom, I think, because wisdom's a little different than just like information. Because truly, if it's just like intellectual information, it's all out there and can be grasped in some way. But
I mean, I know I can speak. I can feel intimidated sometimes. Like, I don't know what I have to offer this generation. I mean, they are so technologically savvy. They do have every answer I feel like they need. And to be honest, I think they do struggle socially a little bit.
For sure.
So maybe not super easy to approach at times.
I don't know. We're turning 40.
Yes.
We're at that age where we don't know if we're supposed to be, like, I don't know, role models or
Fair.
or mentors.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. I get
on
that.
some level. Like, I feel like it's like, wait until I'm 50, then maybe I'll know more. But I don't know that you ever know. But I mean, like, I'll say this: I'm about to turn 40, and I look at like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and I actually have like probably I'm supposed to think they're stupid. I'm supposed to think like our generation was the smart. I'm like, I have all this hope from Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
I look at them like, I think y'all have it figured out, kind of. I feel like I go to the BCM every once in a while to play bass right now, and I'm just kind of observing because no one wants to talk to the old guy in the corner. So I'm just kind of like observing everybody, like, and I'm just kind of like, no, dude, they're social. They have their own tribe, and I just feel like everything's cool. The BCM seems like a much healthier place than when I was in it, but I had a weird experience in the BCM. When a lot of people that went to the BCM when I had an incredible experience, so a lot of that's on me. But like, I look at it right now, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, kind of like what you're talking about. We had social media. We're the first generation, me and Garrett here, that like got the internet at the age. Like, we grew up like our parents with analog, and then once we hit high school and college, we were given the internet and we figured it out. But we were MySpace and Facebook, and we were like, make something that glorifies yourself. And I think Gen Z's a little less interested maybe in that.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
it just seems like they're on Instagram, they're showing you their life, but they're also more just kind of grounded on the world. Like, they're not as impressed as we were with it. So yeah, maybe there's some social awkwardness, but also it's also just like, I think they are also just have a better grasp of how to do this. In the same way, I think we were more media literate than our parents' generation, because they trusted the news, then the news became funded by whatever, and we kind of know to question it. Our parents don't.
Right.
I think we kind of got that way with algorithms. Our generation falls victim to algorithms like nobody.
We're extremists.
We just information bubble, and I think Gen Z and Gen Alpha are like, no, they're algorithm like literate, in a lot of ways. And so I just think like, I sit on stage every other week at our church, and I see like how many college kids in our church, and I'm pretty blown away by it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like,
That's awesome.
I'm more like, the church is in pretty decent hands.
I think so, yeah.
And that's how I feel, personally.
I
Like,
definitely I feel a boldness, like a confidence in who they are that millennials definitely lack.
Yeah.
And so we grasp for like you said, our algorithm, our extreme, like who we are, nostalgia. Nostalgia's so big with our generation because
we were kind of self-obsessed,
Yeah.
like millennials. We were just really kind of about like, well, we're not going to grow up. We're going to do whatever we want. And we're going to just be self-obsessed. And I don't see that the younger generations see like more of a, no, we want to give back to the world, or we want to like be invested in other people.
Yeah.
And I'm like really blown away by that. Even Gen Alpha, like my nephew's 15, and I kind of look at like his group of friends, and they're teenagers, they can be idiots like all they want to be, but I'll go to youth, and they're all dressed the same. They're all like in sliders, tall socks, shorts, and a shirt. That's male, that's female and male. Like, I'm like, and part of me is like, this wouldn't have flown in my generation.
No.
We were too self-expressive, and I'm kind of like, but I kind of like this. Y'all just don't care. There's no need to just tribe up like aesthetically. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like everything's good. I think things are going well, like for the younger generations, and so
definitely,
I think it's awesome.
It feels like a pendulum swing.
It
like
does.
Where we were like media, all we could get, and now they're kind of swinging the other way for connection. Like you're saying, I mean, what they're searching for is connection, actual truth for their lives that they can apply and live with purpose. I definitely feel that, and I don't think that's coincidence that. I mean, we've got some kind of spiritual awakening happening.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt. And I think this age group has a lot to do with it, which is historical. I mean, that's true of most awakenings or revivals, is it typically starts with younger people.
Yeah, and I think just to wrap up the whole point I'm trying to make is just like, I look at a church like ours that goes from like, 90 years old down. We have every age group imaginable in this church. And And I think like it's just sometimes really easy to peg younger generations as like they got a lot to learn. And I think I look and I'm like, I think the younger generation already knows more than I do, which is that's why I like seeing 100 college kids in our church. Like, I'm like, dude, even if my generation might have blown this a little, we're fine. You know, like, that, and again, I'm not saying that's a true statement. That's just how I feel sometimes. I'm like, I feel like, dude, we're in good hands if we're just going to hand it over to Sandmann and company. Like, dude, we got this. It's fine. Like, our church is in a healthy place. Even in a college town, we're not going to keep all of these college students. You know, they're going to go out and they're going to go do stuff. But that's why you have, I think, what we have in the BCM. But also, I'm encouraged to hear that the BCM is very much like Will said, if you got to choose this or church, go to church. This is temporary. That was slightly different when I was there. It felt more, it was like, yeah, you don't need the local church as much as you need the BCM. And it kind of got a little claustrophobic there. But that was the culture at the time. That was Driscoll and Piper and Platt being real radical and things like that.
That's probably generationally driven. Some of the
it
things
was
we
very
said about
generational. Like, you know, it was very just kind of in your face, young. And like, it was kind of an ego. Again, we were a self-obsessed generation. The ego was, we're the future, so old people get out of the way, and the local church, who needs it? It's just full of old people. We're playing the modern music over here at college, and it's just like, then, you know, it self-collapses because it's, like you said, a temporary revolving door community.
For sure.
You need older people in your life that aren't just David Anderson.
Absolutely.
You know, the one guy coming that's older, you know, it's just like you need that. You need like an actual community because like you said, it's just eventually this ends and you have to go learn how to be a Christian in a kind of a probably mundane 9-to-5 family oriented kind of life, whatever you get dealt. And so, so I again, I'm like super encouraged anytime I'm around the college students right now. Like, I just think it's like, okay, y'all are doing this way different than it was presented to me. And I think this is awesome. This is discipleship in a huge way, you know, and it's really not about y'all, it's about how y'all are going to benefit the people around y'all. And so I think it's cool.
I love it. I love seeing them. I do hate seeing them when they leave, but when they do leave and move off, it's cool to know that they've been in the church and they're already looking for the next church they're going to plant
But it's super sweet, though, when you get calls back from hear what they're doing and where they're at. It's like that layer of mobilization of our church, so like sending them out because we don't want to just hold on to everyone if the Lord's calling them somewhere else. And so it is a sweet moment when you get calls back from students who were part of our ministry for a long, long time. And then they're, I'm serving a youth pastor here, or I'm invested in my church here. I'm going on this ministry trip with this other church that I've been part of. It's just, it makes your heart happy that we were a part of that process for them.
And it's cool within our church. We send them out within our church. I mean, they're being sent to serve in different areas and be a part of different things. So they're mobilized even within our walls or within our context. So that's really cool.
No, for sure. They're involved in the youth. They're involved in
you'll see
everywhere.
College students in almost every aspect of our church.
Just all over. In our worship team, you know, in the nursery, everything. It's just, it's wild.
It's inspiring. We love you guys.
Thanks. I don't know if I can say you guys anymore or be a part of that anymore.
Claimed it, didn't you?
I've graduated. I've been out of school for 2 years now.
2 years.
It's kind of weird.
2 years moved on.
So.
All right, so for the college-age person that maybe is listening or goes to our church or is just kind of like starting to check us out, what would you have them know about college ministry? What is there to offer them from the college ministry? Yeah,
for sure. Our college ministry hopefully is a connection point to the local church. Talk about that a lot today. And if you come to College Life Group, it's an entry point for you to serve within the church. We want you to find connection with other college students and then bridge out from there to connect with all generations of the church. And there's so many possibilities to serve. So we talked about, you look on the worship team, there are people singing and playing there. You have spots in our nursery and our children's and youth and across the board opportunities to invest in the kingdom. And we want that to be a stepping stone for college students. Find a place that is welcoming, that feels like a place of connection and for other college students. And again, what we do is pretty simple. Like, we meet on Sunday mornings at 10, have breakfast, and then we're teaching through a book of the Bible right now, and just trying to. We want to connect students to our church. We want to mobilize them within our church, and we want to invest the Word of God into them. So it would, put wind in their sail, if you will, as they seek to serve the Lord. And we work really closely with BCM too. Like, we have a big worship service over there on Thursday nights. But we just want to help connect college students to the church, and so we do a lot of fun things too. I mean, like, we have college hangouts every other week, where we go to church members' houses, which is just another layer of trying to connect college students to the church, right? Like, we go to their house, get to know them, and like, we'll play games and have food, and it's not super deep, but it's just a way to get your foot in the door and let the Lord work in their lives. Because that's how we get students to serve in the youth and serve on the worship team and on sound and behind the scenes. It's getting your foot in the door. And so we want to truly just invest the Word into their lives, connect them, and help mobilize them within the church. And so,
how would you guys encourage someone in their early 20s, late teens, from your perspective, on hanging around the church? That age group can be so up and down, a lot of things going on. So hanging around the church sometimes, even when, to be honest, there was times I didn't want to be around the church, that I just kind of made myself go through some difficult years. How would you encourage a college-age student?
Yeah, I think I hit on it a little bit earlier, but I just think that, I think there's always going to be times where, like, you're going through something difficult, or you're not going through anything difficult, and it feels really easy to not go to church because, nothing hard is going on, or you have other plans, you have other friends, you have out-of-town trips. It can go either way, but I just think that it is worth it to spend your time at the church, at the local church, with your local body of believers, because of all the things that we've said here tonight. Number one reason, obviously, is because of your relationship with Christ. I think that it just pushes you closer to Christ, and I think because of that, it's worth your time. And just on a human level, like, putting you around people that you can connect with and grow deep roots with. If you are a college student and you're going to move off, it's like Will was saying earlier, you're kind of like, you're getting ready to go plant somewhere else, and it's just a good life experience. The main thing is that it's glorifying to the Lord. But there's so many other things that come from it too, I think.
Cool.
I don't know. Learn bass. I'm tired of being the only bass player.
The rotation.
I feel like I've been playing bass every week for 4 months. There's not a lot of. There's me and Kyle. Me and Kyle are the only two bass players in this town.
Back and forth.
No, but for real, I don't know. It's again, I'm pretty encouraged by the college ministry right now, and even the youth ministry, and just and these students. And again, I just feel like they're just on a more knowledgeable, maybe Christ-centered walk in these ministries than I was. And so I think my encouragement, though, is kind of just adore the ministry, cherish the ministry, but, like, don't marry the ministry. Like Will said, it's going to end. And you can get, me and you used to have a lot of talks about this when we were both youth pastors, that I kind of I was a youth pastor saying, I think youth ministry is a failed experiment. We should shut it down.
And I'd keep you in the fight.
And you keep me in the fight. And I'm just like, because I was like, I feel like church, we just make it like, we cater it to just, it's for you, it's for you, it's for you. And then college ministry is that thing where you do get a lot that graduate and go, what's for me now? And they're like, oh, the fun's over. Yeah. I'm glad you had a great, 22 years in church, but now it's just like, show up. Yeah. And I feel like right now, what I am encouraged by is I do see the BCM, I do see our church ministry here, like plugging students into things
Yeah, I love
and
it.
kind of prepping, like, yeah, dude, like get involved in a church, and then what you learn here you can take to your next church or your next ministry or whatever God calls you to. And I really do think we're doing that. I mean, we just lost a guy in youth, Travis, who was came from the BCM, was in the college ministry and all that stuff, and like he's going to go fly planes for a living, but whatever church he's in, I'm sure he's also going to play guitar and sing like Ed Sheeran, because we didn't know for like 3 years he had a beautiful voice.
Just hiding in the back.
And all of a sudden,
Like Ed
there it is.
Travis
And so,
Wolf.
but like, and that's my thing. But I would say, like, I think that's the thing. It's like, and I would say that to any adult, even like, don't marry your church. The Lord will like mess things up every once in a while. He will like completely wreck your life in the best way possible. You can get caught. This church could burn down tomorrow, and like what do we do, and things like that. And like it might cause people to go here or there, depending on like what they. Again, if they're just married to like, well, I need a building with a stage and stuff, like I don't want to be in a gym for 3. It's like, no, like marry your community and marry like your brothers and sisters of Christ, and like be married, to God above all else. I think that would be like my advice, just like cherish this, but like, again, know that, this stuff does end. And like she said about high school, you move off, and it's kind of just knowing that like your faith, don't ground it in this person or that person or, this building or that building, because those things can be taken away, and that's happened to, I think, everyone in this room at probably some point. You've really kind of put your faith in a person or in a certain church, and then you're out of it, and you're kind of like, oh gosh, I was worshiping the wrong thing. And so I would say that's kind of my big advice, especially just I think that like you're probably more prone to do that as a teen, early 20-something, to like really invest in those things that are temporal and will go away on some level, and so
I feel like I don't know who the mastermind behind it all is, but I feel like college or that age group, or maybe the way we work things, we're simplifying a little bit. Like, this is the gospel, this is the good news, these are the people of Jesus, and this is where we're going to be. So I really love that. And with all that, college students, we love you. We're proud of you. We're glad you're here. You are First Baptist Church of Durant. You are the church.
absolutely.
For sure.
So we are grateful for that. I'm going to pause. Anything else to add?
Dude, thankful for Will, Trey, Dustin,
Absolutely.
like just the people kind of really leading this in our church in a big way, and all the college students that are, or just people that just got out. Ryan Schisler's a big one. I mean, I know she's been out of college for a minute, but I mean, she's been pouring into it. You two did it for a long time.
Yes.
When there was, I mean, like, it's just, I think this church has had a lot of people that's really gotten the college ministry to where it is. Because I think it was rough there for a while.
Yeah.
The BCM didn't have a building. It came out of kind of a rough transition. Trey didn't have a building for like the first 10 years.
Yeah,
And that's a tough sell, and stuff like that, for college kids at times. And so, I mean, like, again, I'm just blown away by like the obedience of, people from Trey's been doing it, and to Will, who's just now stepping into it, of just like keeping it like, again, very like gospel and Christ centric, and it's great and it's cool, and I've enjoyed being at the BCM these last Thursdays I've been there playing bass, because I am just observing and going like, I think this generation of students are going to do a ton.
It's exciting.
Like, they just seem really sold and like bought in for this. I'm like, I just think this is going to be massive,
Yeah,
And so-
you're right. We've had a stretch of humble servants just kind of carrying this thing.
And I think it's cool.
And they're all people that like do the work, and God definitely gets the glory.
I used to be a massive cynic of it, and just ministries in general. And now I'm just like, whatever, dude, I got proved wrong, and this is great, and this is awesome.
Yeah,
So,
we're in it. We're
and
cheering
I
you on.
love being proved wrong in this.
To the
So,
glory of God, right?
It's a blessing. So, Will, thanks for being here, man.
No problem.
We hope that if you're not a college student, hopefully you've learned a lot about our ministry, what's going on, and we hope you're excited as well about the ministries that are serving and blessing our college students. If you're a college student, man, really grasp onto the things Will has offered within the college ministry. And to all of you, go and make disciples of all nations.